to spoon. You want to know what is happening, Moravia to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Funjama, Maryland to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat kepa, congratulate my brother to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. What? Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibaba, kilibaba, kilibaba. Kilibaba, kilibaba, kilibaba. What I want? Yes, what you about today? School TV. Yes, what you about today? School TV. School Balabadibadiba. Skidibidi Dabado. School TV. School entertainment. Go to there. Go to there. On the spoon. Yes, what you information. On the spoon. To get your information. On the spoon. To be part of our discussion. Spoon television. Spoon radio station. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Moravia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, Moravia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Funjama, Maryland to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat kepa, congratulate my brother to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. What? Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibaba, kilibaba, kilibaba. Kilibaba, kilibaba, kilibaba. What I want? Yes, what you about today? School TV. Yes, what you about today? School TV. School Balabadibadiba. Skidibidi Dabado. School TV. On the spoon. To get your information. On the spoon. To be part of our discussion. Spoon television. Spoon radio station.
Okay, folks, what a great way to welcome you to another edition of the program Spoon Talk. We're here tonight live on Spoon 107.5 FM. The program is live on Fabric 101.1 FM as well. We're coming to you live online, Spoon TV live, Fabric TV live, Super TV live, and on YouTube at Spoon Talk Live. Encourage a friend. Of course, join another great edition of the program here tonight, Spoon Talk. My name is Nelson Colette, of course. I see Dr. Richardson is already here, and James Goode Flomo is here as well. Good evening, Dr. Richardson, and good evening to you, James.
Hello, Nelson. Hello, good day. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, I'm
Well,
doing good.
I'm okay. God money us.
That's awesome. Before I even speak to you guys, I want to just say happy Valentine's Day to my husband. And I want him to know that I love him very much. I'm sure you guys know his name. I will just say Abraham Richardson. I know where you are and you know where I am. So happy Valentine's Day. And thank you for being a great father to our children and our grandson. So we can continue the conversation now that I said that.
Yeah.
How are you doing this Valentine's Day? Happy Valentine's Day to you guys, to my colleagues.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Richardson, and we wish you the same.
Thank you.
The I'm still trying to figure out how the official color of Valentine became red. I don't know. I
You
don't
know,
know whether James has an information on that or I don't know.
it,
I see the places social media is red. Our surrounding is partly red as well, and I'm thinking, how did we get here? How did the color for Valentine become red?
so it's interesting. I don't know exactly, but I can attempt to just speculate about it. I think we associate love with the heart, and many people believe that the heart is red because it pumps blood and blood is red. So these are just general, thought process that I'm putting together. And so that's what I did associate um, Valentine's Day with the color red. I did do a little bit of research on Valentine's Day, and supposedly there was this priest who started marrying people because he didn't want men to go to war, and so he defied the emperor. The emperor was against, having marriages because he wanted the men to go to war. And I think there was a law that says if they were married, they had to stay home to provide for the family. And so he defied them. His name was, I think, Saint Valentine's.
Mhm,
Let me just read. I'm going to say, according to the legend, it's a legend. The day
mhm.
is celebrated to mark the death anniversary of Saint Valentine, who died in mid-February in 278.
Good morning and welcome to Women's TV Liberia. My name is Samantha.
Now, what is that?
I think it
Okay.
came from James. Yeah.
Yeah. It is said that Saint Valentine was a priest who defied emperors' orders and secretly married couples to spare husbands from going to war. So this is what I briefly just kind of saw. I actually never looked it up before. So that's kind of a little bit of the history of Valentine's Day. Having said that, we're going to have a great show today. It's going to be a wonderful segment of Spoon Talk coming on shortly with our panelists. I want to just wish all of our viewers, all of other nationals, all Liberians, all passionate lovers of Liberia, a happy Valentine's Day. Start loving yourself first, and then you can love other people. So sometimes people think it's always about lovers and stuff like that, but I think it's about loving yourself first. In order to give love, you have to love yourself first. So enough of love talk. It's funny. I feel like I'm in marriage therapist. When I start talking like this, I feel like I have couples sitting in front of me who are preparing to get married. A lot of times, couples who are preparing to get married will come to therapy to make sure that they are compatible, and so we go through different process of assessing, who they are, and then talk about love talk. But that's enough of the love talk right now.
Yeah.
Love somebody, love yourself. We got to
Yeah.
talk politics, right?
Yeah. But I think it was a little bit of free free marriage therapy here
Yeah.
for all of us, the people online, and James is not married. James said he has professional. I think you are making some clarification the other day.
It's too amazing. It's too funny because yeah, it's funny. Yeah, take it as free because I charge for therapy, so take it as free. Yes. So anyway, what's going on in Liberia from a political perspective standpoint? What's going on in Liberia?
Yeah, so they politically the election is one of the things that a lot of people are still concerned about. Uh, the National Elections Commission has a timeline for everything leading to October's election. So there was this concern raised by Senator Yomli Kanga Lawrence, the Grand Bassa County Senator today. She wrote a communication to the plenary expressing concern about the ability and preparedness of the National Elections Commission to conduct elections for October. And so, following that communication, after it was read at the Senate at the Liberian Senate, they then arrived at a conclusion to have the National Elections Commission appeared uh, on Tuesday, next Tuesday, to give status and with respect to what the level of preparation is for the conduct of election come October. Because our understanding is that the the voter registration process should take off in March. So the Grand Bassa County Senator has been saying that, look, we don't see any signs while the level of preparation. So they are concerned about that. And of course, according to reports we've gathered, the National Elections Commission is supposed to be making an appearance there. And Representative Yeke Koluba, the District 10 lawmaker, uh, today fired heavily again at the Weah government. Um, he's been raising some concerns about huge discrepancies in the draft 2023 national budget. Uh, yes, so that's coming from the District 10 representative. And according to him, there are some things in the budget that are not in the interest of the Liberian people. He talked about monies being put in the budget for the president's county tour for 2023. Um, some a little over 10 million or so. He talked about. According to him, it shouldn't be. So he says there are some discrepancies. He also talked about the budget for some ministries increasing unimaginably. So yes, he ended on the usual note with a call for Liberians to stand up and take some actions and so forth. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I mean, those are just a few from the many things happening in the country today.
Okay. Thank you very much. I'm just going to share my thoughts. I think it was a good thing for Senator Yumble Kanga Lawrence to call on NEC to come to the Senate to tell them the state of readiness for the elections. I think it's a good thing. I think they need to be called on. Is definitely looking out for the public and for the state of our democracy. So I want to applaud her for calling on NEC to come and let them know how in elections will be, especially March is next month. We need to know where we
Mm.
are. And also, I think I didn't hear Boyeke, but not surprised. County tour, $10 million. That's a lot. So, uh, so I can understand if he blasts that at the formation of the current budget that it included unimaginable, money for different ministries, as you said. So that's interesting. I'm sure Yeket is always welcome to come and explain to us even more. But I always talked about this PSIP. In the budget is $150 million is designated to PSIP, what they call Public Sector Investment Program or Plan. And this money is basically allowed to the president to use as at his discretion. So he can take $10 million out of this money to say he wants to use it on county tour, or he can use it on, I think there's something they got a TVET program. So
Yeah.
this is money that, and I'm not sure, I've never seen it in Liberia's budget before. Um, or he can use it to build, I guess, the Invincible Park. But if you look at $150 million and their Invisible Park, they said cost $3 million. That's what they told us it costs. So we are left with $147 million left. So and then 10 million out of that. It's just the math is interesting. How is it been measurable to the Liberian people? That's something.
Oh, we. I think we lost Dr. Richardson. We hope to get her back. We hope to get her back. Of course.
I think it's a problem from her end. I don't know. Yeah,
Okay.
because
Okay.
She's off completely.
She's not even backstage.
Yeah.
She's off.
So let's see if she's gonna
Yeah.
return.
Yeah. So we just hope we can get her back. I think she was making.
Okay, she's coming
If
back.
okay.
Okay, let me bring her.
Sorry, guys. I have no idea what happened. I must have hit the wrong button here, but you know how it is with technology. I want to say that it was a wonderful show yesterday. I couldn't be here. I got a chance to listen to a little bit of it, and I'll be listening to it again. I think the panelists did awesome. Kev was a great moderator yesterday. He allowed all of the panelists to just ask the questions. I thought Chairman Billy was on point. I mean, he was just in a kind of state that I've never really seen him before. So it was really good. I think it was very informative for the Liberian people. So I wanted to say all of you guys who were here yesterday that and I wasn't here. So that was a great show. Is it okay for us to James? Good day. Did you have anything else to add before we move on to welcoming our viewers? You passed the exam, James. I'm checking you. I'm following.
Yeah, pass the exam.
Oh, congratulations.
Okay.
School finished now, or you on break?
First semester finished. We starting second semester next month. Nelson, I think you have to come by here.
Oh, okay. That's good,
Yeah,
James. Congratulations. I didn't expect any less of you.
we
So,
we completed the first semester. Today we did our final test,
mm-hmm.
and
So
on the 28th we should be starting second semester, or March 1st we should be
I,
starting second semester. Yeah.
I can imagine this stretching your brain in ways that you never even thought that you could work, huh? The way how to give you, if it's
Yeah.
a pile all the paper on my chair and on my seat,
Yeah.
send the
No,
paper.
no vacation yet. We have to complete. Maybe we will go for vacation around July or August.
Mm-hmm. That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's awesome. Well, we're watching. I will probably will talk about that. I'm proud of you, just to let you know. Proud of the work that you're doing for yourself.
All
Um,
right.
anything else you want to add before we go to welcoming our guests?
No, I think you can go ahead and welcome them.
Okay. First of all, I want to say happy Valentine's Day to you, our viewers around the world, because we do care about you. So happy Love Day to you. I want to start with just recognizing Nancy Eastman. Nancy is always here. Thank you very much for being here, Nancy. Randall Thomas is here. Thank you. Levy S. Gay from Margibi County. Margibi County. Levy is here. Thank you. Um, Teresa Williamson is also here. She's disagreed with me. Told me, please, man, when I said Kev did a great job. Duka Pudanewisan, please forgive me. Uh, I want to thank you for being here. I don't know how to say your last name, whatever it is that you've disagreeing about, but thank you very much for being here. Clarence Benson is from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Clarence, thank you. Serafina T. Harble, she's watching. Pearl Campbell is also watching. Lib William from Denver, Colorado, he's watching. Thank you. Lib Williams, thank you. Otel Crispy, he's watching. He says, Happy Valentine's, my spoon family. Thank you very much. Tipples PK Dempster is also watching. He says, Happy Valentine's Day to me. Happy, you're right. Tell yourself Happy Valentine's Day. Triple K Coney is also watching. Marky Danawood Parker is watching from Turkey. I think he said he's watching from the Turkish Republic. Carl Gloria Voga Mobla. Carl, it's good having you. I like the way how you follow us all the time. Please share the show. Every one of you watching, share the show. Roxanne D. Nimble is watching. Roslyn Dix is watching. Wateti Tue is watching from Philadelphia. Wateti is right in my neighborhood, Philadelphia, not far from me. West Peabody is also watching from New Jersey. Sebath Harris is watching. Marcel Wenby James is watching. Ekata Zakba is also watching from Turkey. She says, Happy Valentine's Day to you all. Thank you very much. Emmanuel Shore is watching from Police Academy. I believe that's in Monrovia, Liberia. PK Tukba is watching from Turkey. We got a lot of people watching from Turkey here today. We got one from Ontario, Canada. Thank you very much. Adams Sharif is watching from Seattle, Washington. Thank you very much, Adam, for being here today. Please share the show as the panelists are preparing to come in. We're going to have a spirited conversation today. We have a few of our thoughts already lined up, some videotapes for you to see, videotapes of Liberia lined up as well. Ezekiel Flomo is watching. Rabia Monir is watching from Pakistan. Oh, I have not seen Pakistan. So Rabia Monir is watching from Pakistan. Thank you for being here. Usko George is watching from Harbel City. Thank you. Teresa Williamson is also watching. Teresa, thank you. Rochester S. Mills is watching from Dupont Road, Kingdom Care. Wherever you are, people who are in Dupont Road, Kingdom Care, we appreciate you being here today. Lucretia B. Do Nimle is watching. Moses Kali is watching from Pennsylvania. Ishmael Varney is watching from Dallas, Texas. Thank you for being here, Ishmael. Edmond Sibo is watching. Walbeth Mulba is watching from River G. Wow, River G County. We have River G County in the house. Thank you for being here. Shout out to everybody who's in River G. Thank you. Emmanuel Noor is watching from SKD Community. SKD Community. Nice. Thank you for being here. Let me see. Lai Fakapta Eko. Lai, let's say Laye. I'll just start with that, okay? Thank you for being here because that's a long name you have over here. I can pronounce it in one tongue. Vita Peabody is from New York. Thank you for watching us. Joseph K. Morris, New York City. Thank you for watching us. James Jala from Maryland, USA. Thank you for being here. Richie Imans from Germany. We got somebody from Ontario, Germany, River G, Turkey. We have people, all of you guys are in the house. Sam Harmon is from Banja. Banja, right? Banja? How is it? Banja.
Banja.
Yeah, Banja.
Banja, thank you. I was just in Banja. I have relatives that live in Banja. I was there all the time, and it's growing. It's a growing community, right? Especially when you go all the way back past view. They pass the gas station basically. The gas station. What's a gas station that your popular gas station that used to be that is going out of business or is not around? It's not as popular anymore.
Total,
correct. Past Total gas station, if you go all the way in the back there to Banja, Is a big community back there. Yeah, Toto at one point used to be very popular in the country, all over, including as far as Cape Mount. It was in Rousport when I used to go there. So I don't know what's happened now. Who's taking over? Is it Petty Trade now? Is that Petty Trade that's taking over?
I don't really have information on it.
Yeah, I sometimes see that they how do you call them? Petrol trade.
Yes, Petro Trade.
Yeah,
That's
petrol
right.
trade.
Yeah, it's I mean, not that we don't care either. We're not advertising. It's just I just noticed a difference. There was one time while I was in Monrovia in the past 10, I've been going to Monrovia for the past many years. It was Toto, 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 Toto. And now I don't hear Toto, Toto, Toto. I'm seeing other people coming up. So that's really interesting. Elizabeth Bowen is here. Thank you. Sis Elizabeth, thank you for being here today. She's always following us. Melvin Loken, my own chairman, Melvin Loken, is here watching from Fargo, North Dakota. Melvin, thank you for being here. Wilhelmina Smith Dix, watching from Lapasi. Lapasi, thank you for being here. Wilhelmina Smith Dix. Bowe Peking, he's watching. He's mentioning another company here. Eric Apia Labis is watching from
Okay, so I think he's making correction on that. Is connect. Yeah, connects that.
Next.
Yeah, went in with Total and not the petrol trade. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you. Either one, it doesn't. We don't have an
Yeah.
investment in it, but we're just making observatory comments. Like I just
Yeah.
remember Total is all I was hearing. Everybody, it was all over the country, and I'm not hearing that name again. So if Connex or whoever is there
Yeah.
is fine. Prince VW Gray, he's watching for Nimba. Thank you. We got River G, Nimba. I'm looking for Maryland County. So if you're in Maryland County, please tell us that you're watching from Zedru, which good they always argue about the pronunciation with Zedru from me. So if you're watching from Zedru, please tell us. I want to see all of those far counties: Maryland, Zedru, River G, Sano. Nima that just easy place we can just take car, we go there, we come by in one day. Okay, I don't think we can go to Sano or Maryland in one day. In
Yeah.
Liberia, we should be able to do that. Honestly, we should be able to do that. It'd be nice if you can even take a flight. I was in Liberia, I inquired about taking a flight, but it didn't materialize. I want to take a flight from Monrovia to Kipamas. They do have a flight now, but it's not. They're still working on some modalities around it. I'm waiting for my panelists to come in. Where are you, my panelists? Let me see if anybody sent me a message. I'm just going back to I haven't listened to that. Okay, I think I send it. Let me just send it. Sometimes I do forget to send the link, James. Let me make sure that I send it to everybody
They
who's
have it.
okay.
But you
Everybody.
can send it also. Yeah, but you can send it also. I send it.
Okay, thank you, James. I appreciate you following up. Okay, hold on. I see somebody send me a number. Uh, yes, you guys can go ahead and talk while I'm doing this over here.
Yeah,
If
that's
any,
good.
Yeah. So they as James rightly said, I think he sent the information in already, and we have the rest
Mhm,
of the panelists coming on.
mhm.
Uh, but uh, the, the the political fever is on, and at the end of the day, whoever wins, people always say Liberia win. Liberia wins, and so we look forward to seeing a very peaceful one. There has been concerns from folks in different quarters with respect to the peaceful conduct of the election. Recently, when we had the word of words between uh, the two key actors or statesmen, uh, people were concerned, and at a point we got to understand that the Liberian Council of Churches got involved, and so gradually we're seeing signs of a peaceful election, and we look forward to seeing um, visible signs of a very peaceful election, even as we move to October and all of that. So I see all the panelists are now here. So Dr. is still trying to get her messages right.
Yes, I was good. Oh, everybody's here. I was sending messages to almost everybody to make sure that we're here. I'd like to welcome all of you here today. I want to thank you for being here on this Valentine's Day, and happy Valentine's Day to you. I'm sure if you don't have a special one to love, you are loving yourself. Fargo, I want you nothing for you to do. Matu here, so tell her here nothing for you.
No.
Matu, when you are born, the man said I shouldn't be here. So Matu, the one that he partner, so that what we're on here.
Hey, happy Valentine's Day, Honorable Fagon. Mwah.
Oh, that is so. You come in there and kill me again on the platform.
Nobody will kill you. Nobody will kill you. Nobody will kill you.
I said nothing. She jump on me. Charlie Power, he come.
Nobody will kill you. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
All they want. The other day I told them I was going to Maryland. They caused my flight to delay and miss my flight.
So that's So Leo, we want to welcome you also. Happy Valentine's Day to you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone.
Yes. So there are a couple of things we have on our agenda to talk about.
Wait, before you go to your agenda, that picture you put on Facebook. Coming out of the swimming pool. Me, I don't like stories. So that people just calling me. You saw that a friend saying, I said, y'all leave me alone. I didn't see her, but I saw Facebook.
No, I saw your comment and I laughed so hard because I was like, Mr. My girl is a mess. Somebody soldier man. He won't say nothing about a soldier man.
Because so yeah, people don't ask you question too long.
No, you don't ask you question too much.
Remember, just ask you saw my before you can even answer two slides in your ear. What I'm going to explain.
That's true. Yeah, that made it wet facing. That's what it. That mean I carry gun before you fought for America for a long time, so that's what it.
But I love all in a swimming pool. I couldn't see. Yeah, the thing I save you.
I think I need to go find a picture. I won't see it.
Don't mind myself. I'm going to just pull it. That's it.
Go on her page. If you see it, you need a show.
Look at that. Oh gosh, you got a minute announcement. Okay, so I won't go to my agenda. Can I go to my agenda now, please?
Which one? The proper agenda?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm just making sure.
I want discussion today. So there's a couple of things. Mr. McGraw, Mr. Fagon, I'm not even following you, so let me just go on you. You're trying to distract me here. I'm just going to ask you guys to just basically give us your opening comments, your thoughts about, how you feel about issues that are going on in Liberia. This is the opportunity for you to spend 2 minutes. Just kind of is anything. It's not related to any topic that I have on my agenda, but anything that you heard today or have been bothering you for the past couple of months. I know Salamati just came back. Leah, you have a project going on. Mr. Fagon, you always, in the news. So this is an opportunity to do that. So let's do that. Salamati, we'll start with you.
Okay. All right. So I didn't say hi to Leo. Hi, Leo. Yeah, I just got back from Liberia, and it was a very short trip there, but very, very fruitful. Not close out, but celebrated a program for entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs, about 18 of them who completed a course with the U.S. State Department hosted by the Liberian Embassy. So they went through, weeks of online training by a program that was developed by the University of Arizona. And now we're in the phase where, they have mentors, and we have to kind of guide them, follow them through to see if they're going to accomplish some of the goals that they're set. So we started with 20, we ended up with 18. It's the Academy of Women Entrepreneurs. This is the first group for Liberia. So I'm extremely proud to be the one who facilitated it.
Thank you.
And yes, all through Africa, South America. So this is a great program for these 18 women to be a part of a very large network. So thanks to the U.S. Embassy and the entire team at the embassy. They were very, very accommodating, not just to the women, but to me as well. So thanks. The work has just started. Yeah. So that was my highlight, the highlight of my trip. But of course, I went in trying to be very optimistic, trying to be the first thing I noticed was the road, the highway. And I've heard a lot about it. Yes. So I've heard a lot about it. And honestly, I was thinking, okay, it would just be like a little portion of the road. But to my surprise, it was pretty much 80% of the road, if I should say
from
so.
RIA straight to SKD.
Yeah, there was a break between like Marshall. And even that you wouldn't really notice because everybody now is just like on the road selling and not turning into like a Douala. But I think that was the break that there was no construction happening. But nevertheless, it was a good bit a stretch, and I was very disappointed. I came in the evening, so it was kind of dark when I got in. And I know that road to be very dangerous to begin with. And to see it, I mean, the driver just drove like literally, I think we're going like 20 miles per hour, just trying to be careful. So it'd be nice for us to follow up and see, whatever happened with the company that was contracted to do it, East International. I know there was a lot of noise initially, but it seemed to have died down. I know the Minister of Public Works said they wanted to do a dialogue with the people, kind of belated, but nevertheless, we haven't heard anything about it. It's very dangerous for a country that is trying to get people to visit. The airport, is the first building that we see, but for a long stretch, we don't see anything along the way on our way to Monrovia. So to be on a road where there's no, it's like there's nothing to really look at. It's dark. And now the construction that's happening, it literally looked like somebody started digging hole and they decided, what? I tired, I'm going home. That exactly what it looked like. And I was hoping to see some activities like during the day. I didn't see much activity until I was actually leaving. Then further close to the airport, I saw, people walking around in jackets. But it was really very disturbing. And of course, I was there for the CDC launch party, opening campaign season. That's what it looked like to me. Yeah, I mean, I know what to call it, but exactly what it looked like, when you're driving from ELW Junction all the way to the executive mansion. There's election looking paraphernalia all through the city with the current administration. And no other party is allowed. So when I saw
You'll come back to that. I just want to give everybody the opportunity to do 2 minutes.
Okay.
But I just
that's on my mind. Let me
I just want to tell you thank you so much for being the mentor to women in Liberia, offering them different thoughts about businesses. I want to just tell you thank you so much for many of you who believe that Liberians are not contributing to Liberia. We just have we actually have many living examples right here on this platform. So Amatu who just came back, Leo who's building, former minister who just contributed his time and effort to Liberia as well. So Thank you so much, Salimatu. Leo, and then Minister Fagon. Leo.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Francine, and greetings to you, Minister Fagon, and Salamantu. Good to see you as well. Been a while. I'm actually headed to Liberia shortly to do some site inspection on the ongoing project at the Pinjo City Hall. It's funny, when we just started, Salamantu used to hang around at Pinjo City Hall quite a bit when we just started this whole project at the time. So it's come a long way. We are hoping in 4 months the roof will be on it. So we're just going to inspect where things are right now. Also, why there, I'll be running a series of trainings and workshops for nonprofit executives and founders around accessing funding from outside of Liberia, how to access resources and funding. I just completed with one of them that we partner and raised about 100,000 United States dollars for from Canada. So just helping to educate them around how it works, like how you have to position yourself locally to be able to access funding, because a lot of the local organizations in Liberia are just taking the little peanuts from US aid, 5,000 here, 10,000 there, and they can't even pay one staff. So how do you really get the job going when there are actually a lot of opportunities for them to leverage partnerships outside of Liberia to leverage funding at a much higher level because of the work that they're doing? The evidence is there. They just need to figure out. And sometimes it's simple how to write the grant. You're not able to write the application properly. So no matter what you do, or you're not even on the lists that the applications come to when there's a call out for applications from a lot of private foundations. It's just hard to get government money for any grant, even US government grant. Private foundations are much more practical. They are much more simpler to actually do. So I will be doing some of that. And then I will be actually engaging the Liberian Senate, because we are looking at potentially working with the Senate to do what we are calling a National Libraries Act, using the work we're doing, because a lot of our major partners are wanting to see a long-term commitment from the government that if they invest, the government will allow for that type of investment to take place. Like I said, we already have a 10-year commitment with the public library system here in Canada. The CEO and I were in Liberia the last time for them to do their final assessment, and they've agreed to go ahead. So the goal would be to see if the Senate is willing to even just get a bill that establishes a national library system upon which we can use to then build. As we've already started the first one, so our goal is by the end of the year, the first one will be prepared to be dedicated. We're working very hard to meet that goal right now. So yeah, and then visiting families when I'm in Liberia on the Canadian side here, we're working very hard to do what we can do for the Liberian community in Canada. As you may not know, I am the president of the Liberian Association of Canada. Here on the Canadian side, we're preparing for elections in August. I will be stepping down and turning it over to someone else. But yeah, looking forward to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. Minister Fagon, your 2 minutes to tell us what's on your mind today.
Well, I'm a little bit disturbed at some developments from the Western Cluster battle that we stepped on to take. The first time the Senate put a hold on the job of the Western Cluster, and then the Supreme Court put a stay order on them to go ahead with a hearing today, which happened. But of all 2 stay orders, Edwin Snow and his people just did not even think for one moment. They carry out their work in total disregard and disrespect for the Senate and the Supreme Court. As if, who are these people? We're just going to keep working. And they've been doing that. The evidences are there, but I don't know. I'm wondering whether if this was Rwanda, the friend of Kagame would have done that. I'm wondering whether a company in Rwanda would have ignored the Supreme Court, let alone the Senate, and just continue to operate as if nothing has happened. So I was greatly disturbed. The hearing went on today, and according to the reports, firsthand, the government of Liberia was not sued by us. We took Golden Verilium to court, but they came with their lawyer, and then the government sent lawyers at the Supreme Court. We didn't take government to court. Why are you there? but it tells you the level of corruption that has gone on with this case. So we're looking at the Supreme Court. We're waiting for its ruling. And then the second thing that's on my mind here is you and I watched the guy at the legislature who pulled down the banners.
Yes. Randolph.
See the way they handled him. You saw that?
Randolph. Yes.
And then today, another aspirant. The video clearly showed that they're standing on the side of the road protesting. They're not violent. And in fact, they're making it verbal that we want electricity, we don't want to vote. So you had registered them for electricity.
We're going to talk about that, Mr. Fagon.
I know, I'm just saying why it bothered me.
Okay.
Is the level of brutality. In my opinion, I think Liberian security forces are more brutal than we've ever seen them in recent time. And the reason why I say so, a confession was made, city police carrying guns, automatic rifles. It's not supposed to be that way. Justice Minister said he would look into it and he would take action. Okay, we saw EPS wearing party uniforms. Look at the way they handled the guy at the legislature. Look at the way they handled the guy today. If people are violent, we can understand. But if they're not violent and you just brutally handle them, I don't understand, man. For real. And those are the two things that bother me. On the issue of SICO, many of the projects in Liberia, and this is the most important one for my day, you may not know, Dr. Francine, this is election year. If government owing any project, I am well informed that the Lofa project is on hold right now. They packed their machines.
Lofa project.
Yes. Fawaz have not even touched his own yet. He have not put one shovel in the ground. But he collected money from the government months ago. SICO packed all the machines, as you see in the video that was sent to you. East is complaining right now. They're working. They're about to pave. Of 32 million owe them. Only 9 million have been paid since they started that project. And this is election year now. Tell me, who's going to pay them?
Wow.
We're in for big trouble.
Wow.
And the reason why people don't pay, government don't pay, they have to take care of salaries. They need money to do, you know what I mean, when I do my hair like this. And then to make the last one new is the fact that I don't know if I'll be there tomorrow. So I may as well, Salimatu's statement, government is what? Continuity. I like the way she can say, government is continuity. And that's all those guys will be saying now. Government is continuity, so they're going to hang it.
Wow.
You vote for them, they'll finish it. If you don't vote for them, they leave it for the next government.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, so thank you very much for your opening comments. We're going to move on now to the president spoke, and the theme of his presentation was "Don't Mind Them." I don't know if you guys heard it, but James, could you please play that video? It was a recent conversation the president was having.
Don't mind them. Don't mind them. They're just afraid of you. And that's why they talk about me. They don't mind them. Together, we will work together to make sure all of us have a place in this country. Don't mind them. Let them leave you. Let them leave you so I can do my work. Don't mind them. Don't mind them. They can tell you anything. We are together. Don't mind them. Don't mind them. They were there before. They didn't do anything. Don't mind them. Don't mind them. We are here. Everything that we do, they will not talk about it. Don't mind them. Don't mind them. You get free school, they tell you say free school not good. Don't mind them. Don't mind them. Your rose, we bury your rose, they will tell you that rose will eat. Don't mind them. Don't mind them. We got more women in government. They'll tell you it's not good. Don't mind them. Don't mind them. Today we pay our economy.
Well. The president is speaking. Don't mind them. Salamatu, I'd like to start with you. The president said many things. We're just talking about roads, and he said he's building road, but the people are saying he's not doing anything. He's not building road. They must mind it. What are your thoughts on what you just heard? Or if anybody wants, we can play the video again. But if
I wish you could pass the part where he said, you know, today we build our economy. You want to pay economy?
Well, so Mr. Minister, if I complete way, I beg you. I know your time coming.
No, you gotta pass our economy part first.
Let me ask James. James, if you're listening, can you just replay and then let it go all the way to where Minister Falcon is saying, let it pass the economy.
Today we build our
economy. They tell you, say, what kind of economy? Don't mind them. It's unprecedented. Today you can see in the 4 years, you can see that more hospitals built in the Republic of Liberia, but I will tell you, you're not doing anything about health. Don't mind them. Today, free education in our country, they will tell you, it's not free education, don't mind them. Don't mind them. You tell them that you love your money, they tell you why you love your money, don't mind them. They don't know you. I've stood for you so many times. We were together.
James, yeah. So the president is saying, don't mind them. He has hired more women in his government, but we are still talking, don't mind them. He now build more schools than any other time. We are still saying, don't mind. He's still saying the people want to mind them. He now build more hospital than any other person. That all the things he's talking. Let's see if all of those things are measurable to substance. Sadamatu, it's a question to you. What are your thoughts? Is the president saying don't mind them? Is he okay? Is he right? Is he wrong?
You know, one of the things that this president is good at is coming up with sound bites. You know, that people, will enjoy and they will talk about it. And the one thing about the actual issues, you know, if I come out and say, oh, and I put more women in the government, are these women tokens? Or are these women qualified women to do their jobs? I am a strong feminist. And one of the things I speak on is that I don't believe in token. If I'm not qualified for a job, don't put me there because I'm a woman. So I'm a firm believer in that. So, you know, when I see people saying, oh, you know, yeah, we'll put plenty of women there, it means nothing. If anything, you're hurting our gender. You're not doing us any good. So you're doing us more harm. We know that, we see women, we see a lot of people in the government, but a lot of them are not qualified. A lot of them were put in positions where we can't see anything as a result of them being in position. You talk about hospitals. Really? You build more hospitals? I beg. Can we get a list of all the hospitals they may not build for us? We're not even going to talk about the hospitals that were completed during his term, like the 14 military hospital that was completely empty. That was a shell that nobody actually furnished and staff and make sure it was functioning until COVID happened. And people like me, I said it me, we had to call around and ask the business community to pretty much furnish the hospital. or the clinic, or 14 military. I mean, it looks like a clinic, but nevertheless. So it would be nice to see the list of hospitals that the president not built. You're talking about schools too. We want to see the list of schools, because I always go back to the list of things that this president promised. The president that came out and promised over 200 things. Nobody asking. Nobody asking. If there were one man who came and said, I will not thought nothing, the people went and voted for. They voted for you in power. You come and then you make these promises, and out of all of that, you accomplish what, 24? Then you saying don't mind them. It sounds like a good cheer, and the people who are sitting in the audience, they are cheerleaders. They will continue to cheer, but the substance of what is happening in our economy, they don't have jobs. People still don't have jobs. The entrepreneurs, business community, especially the Liberian-owned businesses, they are still in spectator. Like I said, they're not even standing around the stadium anymore. They were out there in Sinker. If anything, I think they're not chunk them to another county. So if we sit now and they're saying, don't mind them, it sounds good. It's fun. When I heard it, I started laughing too. I said, if I want to, they may have level they may. When they can make fun out of anything. But the people who are suffering, it's not funny to them. So I will use my time and give somebody else a chance to talk.
Thank you, Salamatu. Thank you. And I want you to, Honorable going Leo, as you answer, he said they were there before, they did not do anything. They were there before and they did not do anything. And you guys include that comment into your response. Leo?
Okay, yeah. I can go. Thank you. Yeah, it's very interesting. I mean, for me, I'll say this. Look, let's be frank. It's political season. The president was clearly not giving anybody a substantive speech. The president was now over there outlining. This was a president in a crowd that was very warm and receptive to him, that even if the president has said, we have just finished a road in the sky, that crowd was going to celebrate it. So I think we got to be frank and recognize politics when there's politics being played versus recognizing substantive things when people are doing it. The president was playing to the sound beat of the crowd, and you could tell the crowd was energizing him as he was going along. The crowd kept energizing him, and that is the president being politically poetic, I would say. With the whole "don't mind them" we see the president going on and on. But I think the real question that we should be asking at this point is not even about what the president has done or hasn't done, because, hey, it's year number 6 almost. This is not time to come be asking. What has been done is saying. What has been done is saying. I think the main question is we should be asking, what is the state of the election in October? I'm hearing they say we are doing biometrics. Up to now, we don't know what the census is. What's the result of the actual census, upon which electoral districts are supposed to be provisioned, upon which the electioneering process is supposed to be drawing clues from. What if you're doing biometric for the first time ever in Liberia, because we've never done biometrics, at least not in my lifetime? What is the data? Whose data are they relying on when we haven't even concluded the census yet? I think these are the questions we should be asking. And for me, whether the president build a low-fire road, not build a low-fire, at this point, everybody will go see it. When the opposition campaigning, they can pass on the road, and so that people can see. If the road there, the people will see it. If the road not there, the people will see it. But I think the main questions we should start asking: does the election commission, have they gotten their budget yet to start putting the logistics that needed to be put in place? None of our electioneering officials are okram with what the biometric system operation looks like, because we've never used it. We're in February. When are you going to train the old man all the way in May to know how to do the biometric and do it properly? And then the election enumerators, when are they going to be trained to know how to run those processes correctly? When will the election commission get their budget approved or allocated for them to even start doing the logistical pieces that needs to be in place to facilitate that? For me, that is what I'm really interested in, because I'm already doubtful that to have a free, fair, and transparent election in Liberia is getting close to impossible, in my opinion, because free, fair, transparent election is not down to cheating or not cheating. It's down to preparing the electorate, making sure all the right logistical arrangements are in place, and not about somebody just taking the number and manipulating it. It comes all the way from voter. When will voters be educated? When will voter registration be done on a new system? For me, that's the real question I really want to ask. I'm not, the whole don't mind them and warming up the crowd. That's
don't mind them. What are you got biometric? You don't have biometric. Don't mind them. That is same thing.
But the interesting thing is, the interesting thing is the opposition themselves doing the don't mind them too, because I have not seen the critical inquiry from the opposition to hold the government feet to the fire. At this time, all of our international partners that are part of today's election should have been written by now by the opposition. By this time, the alarm bell should be ringing look, the president is the president. When you don't want to play with the election, the president will remain president. So the people who want to be president are the ones that should be stepping up the pressure so that the president knows nobody will let anything slip.
That's a very good point. But I want you to say, the president will probably saying, oh, he listened to Leo and saying, don't mind Leo. Leo talking about biometric, don't mind him. Don't mind them. So I have one more question for you though. You mentioned something about, the president was playing to the crowd. He was being given a political speech. Yeah. Have we ever seen our president give a substantial speech? I just want us to ponder upon that.
And that's a very important question. Again, I would say this very clearly. I really feel the opposition have let the president off the hook so much. It's like a gift. They've given the president a gift. And I think the media has also let the president off the hook a lot. Big time. The Liberian media, I don't understand. Why would President Weah don't even engage the media at all, right? But when he travels to the airport, all of them there to only take President Weah picture marching from the plane and marching down the plane, and everybody do the fanfare. If the president is not interested in engaging the media so just disengage with the president. When the president doing a thing, the president do it own thing, because at the end of the day, the media too have a role to play. So I think the opposition, the media have really let President Weah off the hook. When President Weah want them there to see him give a don't mind them speech, all of them come. They broadcast the don't mind them speech, but they don't ask for what is rightfully due them for the president to address them properly on pertinent issues, including the whipping of journalists, including the abuse of journalists, including things that they themselves are concerned about.
Yes, those are good points. Thank you very much. For Mr. Fagon, what do you make about this president's speech? Don't mind them. We mentioned all of these things, and including they were there before and they did not did it. Who are the them he are talking about?
Well, thank you, Leo, and you can take me to court if you want, but right, I should be saying, if one of the smartest young Liberian in our time can sit back and say, I don't even understand the whole biometric stuff that you guys want to do, let alone the woman ink ban. The right way to put it, if one of the smartest beginning in the era, tell you said 18, it tells you with 2 weeks to voters registration and no census as enshrined in the Constitution, no redistricting, no numbers to look at, nothing of that nature. It is next to impossible, like you said, for us to have free and fair election. But what you saw this president doing, y'all one can say are divisive because I gave you a history. The Black community in Liberia, in the United States, is Black History Month. Slavery and all those things they will talk about. Are they being divisive? No, it's history. So anytime I talk about Congo country, I'm being historical. And I'm trying to tell people that this thing happened, we cannot allow it to happen again. And that's my right. But what you saw from that president, he was playing to division. He was being divisive.
That you don't want talking?
I say it because you know what? Muslim women, hear me, I didn't say Liberian women. Muslim women are the most marginalized when it comes to our political arena. You very rarely see them into our politics, whether it be because of their religious notes or anything for that nature. How many Muslim leaders or Muslim politicians, Potokane is there, but how many Muslim Oh, they will say, oh, Wani to gender, she there. For every 500 Christian women, you'll probably have one Muslim woman. And that's it. So he goes there. He didn't say me. He kept referring to the people. They don't mind him. They're doing it because you love me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's them now versus the people. Don't mind him. Because they see me, you following me. The speech should have been, don't mind him because I'm doing this. Not because you're doing this. It shows a clear sign of division. But he failed to realize he had 5 years. And how many Muslim women did he lift up? But he goes to play to the notes, and he comes back and says, don't mind him. Today we build our economy. Your exchange rate is 163 right now. It was 150 just about 2 months ago. You're talking about don't mind him. Today we got free education. Where? The place you got tuition-free university, not free education. They are still paying fees. And I own mouth told Eugene Fagon say, announce it. So I know what I'm talking about. Where is your free education? Who are not paying fees in Liberia? I'm challenging the president. The University of Liberia pay fees. Tottenham University pays fees. Oh, don't mind them. Because, I can take Finabono to the United Nations. She wear Humi saw and pepper jeans with clamor and problem. Don't mind them. I don't want to it. Don't mind them. I pay your roads. Okay, wait. Which road have you completed and dedicated? You finish with a Sacré-Pierre road? You, Dr. Francine, coming to show the whole machine the people that park. The Lofa road, the people now stop. The road going through Grand Gide, Ganta, all those areas, the people cannot get their money. East is trying to pave the road. You should have by now paid them 32 million. From the day they started 2 years ago, only 9 million you not getting. And every day you threaten them. So what major road project, I said major, that you have completed? Oh, obey your rule. Free education. Oh, don't worry. I've already done. Our economy is good. The economy is good. Burger right now double. The economy is good. Gasoline going 1.5 times up. The economy is good. You admitted to the people that you cut people's salaries unknowing to them, and that more so you were not aware that they were being paid below the minimum wage. So, like my little brother Leo said, it's political time. We understand. But it's also lying time, Leo. It's lying time.
Don't mind them. It's lying time.
Don't mind it if I lie to you, Jack Clark. Yeah, don't mind it if I tell you, say, I pay your road, Ganta to Saclé-Pied. They come and show the video journal. Lofa Road, they will show it. Don't mind them. I pay more hospital, but I Salimatu them bury I even put equipment inside just painted. Don't mind it. Don't mind it. Redemption Hospital was in Kawe. I went to go face it. I stay struggling. Don't mind him. And I'm saying these things not to be bad against the president, but the president will have to be careful. Because if I pick a side and I'm against him, if you were old enough, Leo, to remember me in 2017, I used two. One, we had lots of opportunity and we squandered it. Two, I was parked like an old car in the garage. I used that. And the thing the president is doing, he preparing my soundbites. Because I'm going to play it. Don't mind it. I build your roads. Then on that soundbite, I'm going to have one girl. You pay road, Lofa road like that. You can see the road on east. Saclé-Pied and finish. You pay road. Then we ask him on the soundbite. And I think the president needs to be careful how he shoot these things out there because it could come back to haunt him elections time.
Yes. So I want to just spend a little bit of more time on this issue, and I think all of you guys raised really really great points. I want to talk about what Leo specifically said. He said the media and the opposition are also not pressing this government enough, and I actually tend to agree with that. He said they're not asking the right questions. They tend to come to the president's arrival ceremonies at the airport, take pictures, and then go back. And he also mentioned by this time, the opposition should have written international organizations who have contributed to our elections and said, "Listen, this is what's going on." And don't quote me on this. I believe some have, and I don't want to say exactly who, but I remember one of the opposition members talking about getting the international communities involved. And I'm not going to call names here because I can't really recall. But I think, and lastly, I think all of you guys are saying it's not only coming and just talking, it's giving data. Okay, tell us the rate of students that are graduating, student teacher ratio, the medicine stockpile that we have in the country, our different studies that we have on curative aspect of medicine. Tell us about the education, the conducive environment of students. That's what I'm interested in here, and I think that's what will make a speech more substantial. Can you guys, Salamatu, we'll start with you. What are your further thoughts on that, and then go to Leo, and then go to former Minister Fagon.
Yeah, you know what, Leah is absolutely right. It's as if the international community is really the opposition in a way. They're doing more of the check and balance. They're talking more, and it's understandable because they've poured a lot of money. Whether people want to believe it or not, they've poured a lot of money, cash as well as capacity. So they're concerned. They're seeing how a lot of the institution that they did build has been destroyed pretty much. So they're saying more than our opposition. I'm an opposition. And I would like to see us writing the international community and pointing things out and following up with some of the things that happen. There's been so many things. It's almost as if CDC is like handing us the platter. Yeah, we done the one. Yeah, we not do the one. We not do the one. Yet the opposition is saying it's not really saying a lot because we're too busy trying to figure out the fight amongst ourselves, our in-house fight that really should be behind closed door. We're not chunking outside, so it's like we're fighting outside and also trying to make it look good in a way. But he's absolutely right. As for the media, there's somebody that texts me and said, "Oh, maybe it's because they're scared." What's you scared of if all of your band together? We can understand. I mean, we know what could happen if you stop engaging the government. I think we all kind of suspect what may happen, but I mean, who in Liberia? Come on now, nobody got, for the lack of better word, balls to say, you know what, this is not right. What is happening in our country, that the president is not engaging us when he really should be engaging us. So it's just as if we just sitting back and we the spectator that on the outside, we don't want doing more of the talking. We don't want doing more of the complaining. We can't hear anything from the media because we all know there are most of them who are in these people pockets, so they will not say anything. And then there are some who, just maybe a little spineless. They're not going to say anything more. It's just, business as usual. Let me go about my business before the people can get us hard time, shut our place down, and what so. Now, I want to just make a point that, when you hear this man talking, saying the previous government didn't do anything, let's remember the same government that gave the previous government a B. Or we not forget. You give the previous government a B. So what is the nothing that you're talking about that they didn't do? I mean, I honestly want to know what is the nothing that they didn't do. If you give the government a B, for some of you who don't know, B is a good grade. It's a damn good grade. It's a great grade. So what exactly didn't they do? That now, you throwing out these sound bites of don't mind it, they didn't do anything.
Yes, yes. So, Leo, you want to expand on your conversation? And in that conversation, I'm wondering if you could add the role of Liberians themselves, because I see we're saying let's give it to the opposition, the media. What about the role of Liberians themselves? What can they do to bring change? Go ahead.
Excuse me, Dr. Francine. Again, I will always say this: to him or her who much is given, much is required. If the opposition wants to unseat President Weah, or wants to come to power and feel they can do a better job than President Weah, then they have to show better than President Weah. Look, it's not enough to just tell the Liberian people say things are bad. You can't scare Liberian people with hard time. Say I was born, I only know hard time in Liberia. I know no time where things were, rosy, everybody was just chilling. Even when the country was trying to do better, things were still hard for majority of Liberian citizens. So it's been normalized. And think about it, anybody under the age of 30 years old in Liberia, that normal time here, the country way better, because most of our lives we spend running around, running from war. So the fact that there is no war. So when people keep telling people, say, oh, Liberia is so hard, and people tell you it's not hard, it's because it's contextual, it's relative. You want to know what you know. Those of us who God has blessed to live out here, we can compare and contrast what a normal life is supposed to look like, what a normal school is supposed to look like. Those who never left Liberia, this is the best it's ever been. Because if you compare it to when they got to know themselves or so the opposition has to show better. And when I mean show better, how they organize themselves. Number one, the same things you accuse President Weah of, you do the same thing, literally. But you say you're doing your own better than him, the way you organize, the way your events, the activities go about. So for me, I think the real conversation here for the Liberian people, like you asked, what is the role for the Liberian people? You have to remember the Liberian people will only follow something that seems trustworthy that they can hang on to. The CPP breakup was a colossal failure of the Liberian people trust. So nowadays, by the time you tell somebody about a collaboration, the first thing they will tell you, say, my dear, I won't see you before. So I think the role of the Liberian people, if you ask me now, given the limitations that they have, both on the opposition side, people are struggling between Joseph Boakai and Cummings and Gonglo, and now we get Clarence Moniba to join the race too. He's running to be president too. So the people, everybody telling Joseph Boakai and Cummings to come and unite. And they're asking them to unite only because they want to unseat President Weah. Look, that is corruption. To tell Cummings and Boakai to unite only to unseat, just to win election, that's corruption. Because you're not telling them to unite because they both have a great plan that they can work together to make the country better, or they can make a formidable team. You are telling them, even when you're not speaking to each other, even when you're cheering and cussing each other, when they're fighting to kill each other, you might get John because the only thing we want you to do to moon president. So when the moon president, we are not, then they start making flour too. That is corruption. If they want to unite, the unity should be based upon substance. So the Liberian people, unfortunately, the best they can do, in my opinion, is to also start asking the hard questions in your party. And I've said this today. You don't need to be a member of any political party to cast a ballot in Liberia. Thank God the election say you can vote. Even when, what value is any political party to you when all of them have rendered you hopeless? You know what will happen? A CDC call a meeting, they go there, all they are old, they sit down there with their lawmaker, and only them, they're pitiful 20 or 25 of them. Everybody say we tired. Unity Party call the same thing. Everybody say we'll go vote. We'll decide who to vote for. You will have to earn our vote. Come to us for it. I think that what the Liberian people can do, you'll start focusing because you know what will happen? In a show. Anytime you vote for the opponent, you'll run behind their party, and by the time they win, they can drive you by the wayside. So this time around, make them work really hard for your vote before you actually cast it. That's what they can do. And those who are in parties and trying to get things going, it's time to go beyond the party lines. Everybody playing to their base. So what about the people who are not in party? It's almost to the point where if you're not a partisan, to even come close to some of these people and nobody can even acknowledge you that you're even around, like you're not a Liberian person. They're only running, by the time you say ANC, you get cut. Then they run behind you, or you CDC, you get cut, or you UP, you get cut. This is the time for people to prove that the reason for parties is just to bring ideas together, better ideas that can be presented. But you should be running after the people who are not in parties and not asking them to join your parties, asking them to cast a ballot because you have a beautiful platform or a beautiful idea and not to come and join your party. I think that's what the Liberian people can do. But everybody asking about President Weah. President Weah has done this for the last 6 years. So that now we can start asking, not time to start asking, not time to start showing the Liberian people how it can be done better and not just saying that it can be done better. You're muted.
Thank you very much, Leo. And then we'll go on to former Minister Fagon to talk to us. We heard in the question I'm saying the media isn't playing their role. They could do better, according to Leo. The oppositions are also not playing their role. They could do better, according to Leo. He said that they could write international agencies who are funding our elections or let the world know what's happening in Liberia. We have not even had barometrics education started. And then the role of the Liberian people. So what are your thoughts on what we're talking about today, Minister Fagon?
Well, let me take it from let me give it a two-pronged attack. First, let's start with the journalists. Yes, to some extent, one would say, what are they doing? Anderson Cooper and others have a program called Keeping Them Honest. Things that are flying around in the country. By the way, we're receiving breaking news that the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs and Chief of Staff in the Office of the President has resigned from the LPDP, his party. And I have that right here from a release, couple of release here.
I didn't see that, but when you finish, can you break that news for us, please?
Yeah, no problem. So I have been Deputy Minister for Press and Public Affairs 3.5 years. So I know my people in the media. And I do talk to them behind the scenes. And Leo, let me tell you and Salimatu something. Of recent, after the death of the auditors, the missing 3 boys, couple of other mysterious deaths. Do you realize that journalists, you don't even know, besides Rodney Sear and a couple of other guys, it's like Liberia got no journalists again. Everybody gone in the hole. And the reason for that is simple. Think about the way the auditors die. And no genuine explanation. Even if you're an idiot, come on, man. Somebody will sit down in car, and 2 of them, according to the president, will be making love in the car. And they will die at the same moment. That nobody will know the other person not even talking. That they will not be able to open the door. One person will not say, oh, what's going on? And jump outside and say, my boy, I can't. We'll say in the car. Or, no, come on. A guy will go to the house and wake up to go pee and fall down, but end up in the center of the yard. Another guy on his way from work, not from nightclub, broad day, 3 p.m. And so journalists have figured out, look at Prince Johnson blowing his own alarm. Most of our journalists have confided in me. They're scared. They're scared. They say, Fagon, we never see that kind of thing before. We've never seen this kind of thing before. And truth be told, they got reasons to be afraid. A man like Matthew Innes, wake up and tell you, well, all the same for me, pick up the yellow fire. At 1 o'clock in the morning, who sent for you? And then your body is crushed and mingled in the middle of the street. And nobody can give a serious explanation or give any investigative report. So I can understand the fear that have gripped the media. And they're watching, but they're afraid. Leo may be too young. But Leo, what do you know about city police carrying guns? Those are the people, Dr. Francine, you and I used to call, and maybe I'm much far older than you, you can see my face. But hey, we used to call them mosquito police.
I remember.
Yeah, mosquito police. Because we didn't see like soldier men get gun, policemen get a pistol. We didn't see them like that. And look at what is happening. So the fear is there. Let's come to the politicians. Leo struck a good point, except that I differ with Leo a little bit. Hey, we're on the show now, Leo. Better say a man is the most qualified, and that the government before Ellen, which is Charles Taylor, and the one after her, which is George Weah, cannot be compared to her. And they are going to any negotiation knowing that their leader is the most qualified, the most experienced. And I'm not faulting him for that. Politics, that marketplace, go say your own, I say my own. But when you hear people saying, I want the two of them to come together, it's more so to say that it's a young man and an old man. There is a corporate executive and an experienced politician. There is an international fellow and a traditional old man that understands the landscape. They're looking at a partnership. For me, I don't see that partnership anytime soon. And like I said last night, if that happens, the way our people vote, I'm just sorry. It's going to be whatever we do. I have said it and I'll say it again. Something dramatic must happen to get Joe Walker out of the race. Whether it's Kumis negotiating with him, say, Pape, we young, be in the corner, we beg you. Let him know that, man. Check it all your blessing. That could do. Apart from that, I go back and look at the stats. So people think they will be more powerful and be able to give President Weah one round, as opposed to if they divide the votes, pushing a second round and creating a better first round, where Kumis will say, you know what, I don't want to have anything to do with you again. And that's my point. But I think other than that, I want all of you on this platform to understand that Liberian journalists are brave. But over the last 8 months to a year, you can hear that me, everybody going in the shelf. And that's because I would say to the international community today, you've let the Liberian people down to a greater extent. You've allowed too many things to fly by. And you think it's normal, but it's not. So people are living in a state of fear. I faced my place to go home. From the time they raided my place, I said, let me sit down here. Because me, I will not jump from on my balcony. I'm coming outside to pee. But maybe they will say, oh, the man was looking in the mirror slapping. He died. And I'll be one of the statistics for your program.
Okay. Thank you, Minister Fagon. So we're going to move on to our next topic. And we have a video in the back. Again, Leo, I know you're going to say, I want to hear more substance, but we have to present what we have to the Liberian people. And then we can discuss the substantial matters that we would like to hear. James, could you please play this video? This is a continuity of President Weah saying the Muslim people love him. He does not believe that they are against him. So again, we want to sort of again talk about this occupation with me, love me. When the people love mana, you said don't mind them. Okay, the Muslim women love me, don't mind them. So here we go again. James, please play this video if you can.
Well, good morning and welcome to Women's TV Liberia. My name is Saminata Kumar. We are here in the good morning and welcome to Women's TV Liberia. My name is Saminata Kumar. We are here in district number 17, right after the Simple Bridge, where citizens have gathered in demand of electricity. and they are chanting slogan. They want current, they don't want vote. As you can see, they are all here wearing black and white and blue and white. Good morning and welcome to Women's TV Liberia. My name is Saminata Kumar. We are here in district number 17, right after the Simple Bridge, where citizens have gathered in demand of electricity. And they are chanting slogan. They want current, they don't want vote. As you can see, they are all here wearing black and white and blue and white.
Okay, actually, that was the wrong video, but this is okay. That was fine. But we have District 17 residents protest.
It is in a few parts of District 17.
My thoughts to you about this
within the district have gathered here this morning
is that
of current. As you can see,
beneficial to Liberia in terms of our democracy, citizens on the one hand, and on the other hand, they're asking about electricity. Okay, so what is the story behind this whole electricity? And I'll start with you in order for you to elaborate more for our other two panelists and for our viewers. So could you please go ahead, Mr. Fagon? I'm going to get off the screen quickly just to take a call, but go ahead.
Well, I got a report today, and it was very disturbing for me. If you notice, when the video starts, you see a guy whose back is turned. He's wearing a black face cap. He's the District 17 aspirant, Clarence Cole. And if you look in the video, you clearly saw the sedition. Not once, but twice or three times, with his blue beret and stuff. It's a community protest, for God in heaven's sake. They're not on the road. They're on the side of the road. That's the point I want to say. I want to stress. Then they say, we want current. We don't want vote. And that's because they went in, they registered them for electricity. They came and pick and choose. And according to the reports I got, which seems from the protest, clearly it's true. You know, the beauty people houses and their girlfriend in houses, they get them current or electricity, and they left the community out. So the people got annoyed. I'm here, and electricity passing over my head going to Salimatu. In as much as I like Salimatu, man, come on. Why are you passing over me? You register me. You made me spend my money to get meter. I've done everything by the book. And because Salimatu is beautiful, so she gets electricity, and you just pass by me. And so the community got together. And like I said, when you see the video, you will see a guy back turned with a cap, explaining to two ladies in black. That's the aspirant trying to talk to the people. In the video, and this is the ladies' television, women's television, you see a sedition there also. But what does the police do? They see the aspirant, they don't know what he's doing, but because he's an opposition, they grab him, they manhandle him. At this point, up to now, when I stop speaking, I will make another call to say whether they found him. He was beaten mercilessly. They don't know, his family does not know whether they've taken him to the hospital. They went to Central, they could not locate him. They went to Saw Beach, they could not locate him. They told them that they should go to Broadway police station. They went there and he wasn't there. They believe he's either have been beaten to death and they are afraid, or that they are afraid of the kind of brutality, and if he's still alive, they want to be able to take him for treatment. So I did a research quickly and found the video to be true. That video at the end, and I want George Good Day to show it. Because if you see the way the man handled that guy and put him in the pickup, you know straight when they took him to wherever they took him, there was some serious, severe beating. This is the kind of brutality. When George Weah says, you know, I don't have any political prisoner, yeah, it's true. You don't. But you got a lot of them with broken bones and stuff. And that's wrong. And the video speaks for itself.
So, James, is it possible for you to please play that video again? Let us.
Police officers, they are walking towards the protesters who are demanding electricity in district number 17 here this morning. Okay, the police are disrupting. Police are disrupting the citizens of District 17, and they catch District number 17 aspiring Honorable Clarence Cole. You can see they are carrying Clarence Cole, who is contesting in District number 17, Representative aspirant. Here, right after the St. Paul's Bridge, because they are in demand of electricity. And so, folks, this is Women's TV Liberia. The police are holding Clarence Cole, representative aspirant, who came along with the citizens of District 17 in demand of electricity. The guy sitting on the ground there with the white t-shirt is called Clarence Cole, who is.
So, you know, in some of your responses, we were asking about what is it that the Liberian citizens can do. Okay, we see that they are doing something. There was a protest, but then we see the response of the authority. This is the second time this week. This past week, there was a guy at the Capitol Hill pulling down banners, and he was kind of manhandled really badly. Now we are also seeing where the people in District 17 are protesting because some people got electricity, some people did not get electricity. There was no explanation as to why and who people got electricity, but yet and still we are asking our citizens to participate in the democracy process. And yet and still we are also manhandling them to the extent where we can say this is cruel and unusual punishment. So what are your thoughts about this, Adamatu? What are you saying? What are you thinking?
You know, as I was watching it, this is not surprising because we saw this happen a couple of times with women who are contesting in the elections. So much so that there are a lot of women organizations right now that are preparing because they know that there will be violence against opposition, especially the women. We saw it with Tilia Yuri. We literally saw it online. We were there. We saw it. We saw it with Cornelia in District 13. And then, of course, the most recent was Madame Boto. And these are the ones that actually, there were a lot of noise behind it. It's easy for people to come out and say, oh, you know what? We believe in democracy. We could probably expect the government to put out some kind of statement out there again to make it sound like, they're against what they saw. But unfortunately, some of their family member is possibly missing. And we will not get any answer regarding this person. When we're talking about democracy, these are some of the things people need to take into account. Consideration that is not just putting it on paper and saying, oh, we want you to have a free, fair election. You're free to actually go to the polls and go and vote on whoever you want to vote for. We're also talking about intimidation. We're watching the protests. We're watching these people on the side of the road. This is not the first time people now jumping the road for LEC. When I was there, I remember the people used to jump on not Kemp Johnson Road. Oh God, what a road that go behind the mansion, behind LU. People used to jump on that road all the Valentine Road. People used to jump on that road all the time for electricity. Even the same Caldwell, you remember when the electricity came on, the people in Caldwell didn't get the electricity and they passed the light over then to somebody else. They jump in the road. Nobody got killed, nobody got harmed, they made noise until it was addressed. But we're watching this on tape. We're seeing that these people are peacefully protesting on the other side. Peacefully meaning they're not destroying anything. They're supposed to yell. They're supposed to say, we want this, we didn't want that. That's what they're supposed to do, as long as they're not destroying any property, they're not interfering with the traffic. We see police grab one man, and they will not say anything. They will not come out and make a statement and tell us what happened. They will not say anything until we pressure. And this, again, what Leah was saying, this is where the opposition comes into play. This is what the media comes into play. You put this out there. We sitting down thinking that this incident is very isolated for a lot of us until it happens to us. I always say, when people break the law publicly and nobody do anything, nobody hold them accountable, it's almost like they're testing you. And once you don't hold them accountable, they grow wings and then they do more things. We're not supposed to, at this stage in our democracy, we're not supposed to be talking about stuff like this. They're standing on the side of the protest. It's annoying. That's what protest is supposed to be. It's supposed to annoy you. Yeah. Okay, that's what it's supposed to be. Sometimes I see people protesting, I'm outside, I can get annoyed, but that's the constitutional right. When they get to a certain point where they're frustrated, me sitting here, I mean, I've never gotten in the street of protest for electricity, but I know how frustrating it can be. I used to write LEC all the time. I would go on social media, whatever I put on social media, but I know how frustrating it can be. And it's frustrating because nobody usually acknowledge you. You complain, nobody say anything. So you get to the point where you're just you almost ready to fight, you ready to throw things around. They are upset. You see electricity, the line passing over you, and go to somebody else. You're not supposed to say anything. This is how we're supposed to be engaged in our government. We write them, we stand on the side, we do peaceful protests. These are all constructive engagement of the government. You may not like it, it may be annoying, but now somebody's child has disappeared. And we can be sitting here and be, some of us and say, oh, it's an isolated incident. It's isolated until it happens to you, because the police, they're growing wings. They're growing wings to do just about anything. There's nobody putting them in check. There's no accountability. Next month, we'll be talking about this same case here. I pray that the guy is okay. I pray that, he's okay. Let me just say that. I really pray that he's okay. But for us, the citizens, to just sit down and be watching this thing and not really saying anything, it's very disturbing. It shows that what role do we play in this whole democracy? It's a pretty word that we keep throwing out there, but what exactly are we doing to make sure that our democracy is protected and respected?
Yes, thank you. Leah, I'd like for you to respond to what you just saw, and I want you to take into consideration what should the government do now that we see in a span of maybe a week or so, there are brutality with citizens expressing themselves. Is this something that we should just let it go, or say, oh, that's just another day in Liberia, people protest and they get harmed or they get manhandled badly? Or is this a way of, decreasing the principles of democracy in our country? So let me hear you say that. And guys, I'm sorry, I have an emergency going on. And that's why you keep on seeing me go in and out. So just respond. I'll be going in and out, but go ahead. I'm listening.
Before he said, I just got word that the guy was released on bail.
Okay.
From the broad bail. He's
Thank
not
you.
doing too well, but I'm trying to get them to contact the studio so we can ask him what happened.
Okay. Thank you. Go ahead, Leo.
Yeah, so for me, I would say one thing. I mean, you can't ask people to give you what you did not give them. The Liberian National Police, even if they wanted to do good, do not have the ability nor the capacity to deal with protest. And to be honest, sometimes the only one way the Liberian National Police knows how to deal with these things is to violently try to quash it. And unfortunately, they abuse a lot of people's rights. I think the inability of us or the tolerance that we've given where our government, successive governments, refuse to provide the police with the types of training, refuse to provide the police with a type of competent leadership and ability to be able to have a professional police force that does not think that it has to be the private security entity for any president or any one government. Instead, they should be there to defend the Constitution, to provide civil order. It's a big problem. So you see in Liberia, the police will act based on who is ordering the police. You will see some real forceful action. Based on who is ordering the police, you're not seeing much come out of it. So I think this is a serious problem. And this is where, again, we come back to civil society as well. Where are the human rights organizations in the country? And I will ask again, this was a clear violation. People were standing by the road, they were protesting, they were making their voice heard. I didn't see, from what I saw in the video, and I'm saying from what I saw, because again, the videos usually don't show the full extent of the entire event, so I'm being careful, but from what I saw, I did not see any provocation from the crowd. I did not see any reason why anybody should have even bothered. And if that's what happened, I would have even expected the police to have come and just try and keep them in their lay corner so that they don't jump on the road, maybe provide some kind of lay barricade, and just so that they don't come and block traffic or maybe obstruct traffic. And they can be there and sing for as long as they want, scream for as long as they want, make their voices heard for as long as they want. I don't think there's any problem with that. But you see that the police arrive with the intention of saying,
and they attack. The video clearly shows the police guy attacking.
Yeah, so my whole thing is, you have to ask yourself, what is the type of training that our police force is receiving that we are seeing this happening over and over and over? Are they being asked to deal with situations that they are not capable of dealing with? And this is not to say there aren't qualified people in the Liberian National Police, but even just logistics. And Dr. Francine, look at when they call the police to the scene. So now when the police arrive, you can feel sorry for them when they actually come. The logistics, they don't even have it. So what type of police officers do we have? Do we have peace officers? And do we have officers with de-escalation techniques that are being trained and these trainings are being refreshed? Do we have officers that understand the dynamics of what's happening with the crowd? Is it a crowd that's going to pose a security challenge to the general public? Or is it a crowd that can be contained to allow to just do their thing as long as they're not obstructing the public? So I guess for me, the question is to say, yes, I don't think if the video we saw is what the video is showing, then I cannot understand why the police had to react with the way they reacted when there was no cause for immediate danger to anyone, when nobody was being obstructed, when traffic was not being stopped. So maybe we should be hearing more from human rights organizations. And again, maybe we should have heard a press conference from the opposition by this evening or by tomorrow morning. Because here is the thing.
Especially where the guy is unexperienced.
Exactly. And here is the thing about the international community, Dr. Francine. People think the international community does not listen, right? But they forget that we often say Liberia is a sovereign nation. So the only way the international community can find opportunities to engage, if there are clear records, demonstration, and appeals from Liberian citizens and institutions who are able to adduce the evidence. Just because the police behave like that today and there's video to it, does that mean the international community have the type of evidence to just jump up today and say they will get involved, to the point where the American ambassador is now the de facto opposition, or the not even opposition, but the de facto check and balance for the government. So I think if we think these things are wrong, as much as we are convicted by it, then it is not just okay to say, oh, use it for political purposes. Because for me, if you're not going to use it in the interest, and to actually show some real interest of the Liberian people, who has gone to actually run after the guy that was taken to today? Did the opposition follow up? Did they even go to meet with the residents in our place to say they saw an issue with Liberian citizens protesting about it and they felt the government did not handle it properly? Did they go there and say, we're here to listen, we're not government, but we want to know what your plights are, because when we are advocating and doing our press conferences, we want to ensure that this issue is, we will do a joint press conference as opposition party right here in this community on this issue. These are all practical things that we can do. So the government is the government. We can document the government excesses, but I think the people who are supposed to amplify it and make it get juice or yolk that it can choke, they're not doing anything about it. So, I mean, we can talk about it here, we can analyze it here or whatever that is, but until it is elevated to the point that claims the attention of the right stakeholders and the right players, Liberia is a sovereign nation, like we always say. So Liberia has to be able to figure out how it handles its issues.
Well, before I go to Minister Fagon, your president said, whether the police, he said, don't mind them, whether the police brutalize aspiring politician, don't mind them, whether the police are trained or not, don't mind them. Those are my own words, okay? I'm just enjoying the don't mind them part and in putting in context what we saw today. Like Leo said, the police needs training, they need escalation, understanding, they need security detection of the crowd to make sure if the crowd are engaging in security threat. But you know, we are here to say how our country is progressing or not. We are hearing another tune from our president, who is in the tune of don't mind them. Okay, Minister Fagon, please go ahead and give us your final thoughts on this. We is 5:22 will be ending the show at 6 o'clock.
Oh, so the very day Salimatu and I come on,
yeah,
to spend
I'll end the show early.
time analyzing things is the day you cut the show off soon.
That's true. I do. I come with that.
Yeah, because your best friend Kev not yet, so we.
I tell you.
Anyways, but you see, he made some interesting points. But again, I want Leo to sit back a little bit and say, okay, we got 15 counties. Do we have the manpower to man our security for our elections civilly? And the reason why I say civilly, if you notice, Dr. Francine and the rest of the crew, we've had the military coming in to threaten. When I say threaten, I mean threaten, because I should say to caution, but I choose not to say caution. It's like, when I look at the law says you're presumed innocent until proven guilty. So these people are innocent, you tell them, anybody disturb the peace, you threaten them that if they disturb the peace. In what way? If you were to show the video or watch it during your spare time, you will see that when the police arrived, they were the ones that attacked the people. They did not come and say, guys, let's have a conversation. No, it is clear on the video that they launched into attack. Even though the guy put his hands up like this, raising his hands, they were supposed to go, okay, we see your hand up, that means you surrender. Let's talk. Still, they did not do that. No de-escalation technique or whatsoever. My concern then would be, how many police officers do we have for 15 counties? And when I served as deputy minister, part of the problems we had were people burning down police stations, attacking police stations. And sometimes, like I said, I'm the guy, I'm a street vendor. I always like to go to the guys in the street and say, why did you do this? And you know what I would tell you? Because I'm getting policeman money. And when you ask them which one they call police, even ladies in Liberia, or some people, not restricted to ladies, but ladies are in the majority. It's like a street talk, Salimatu. They will always say, man, let me get my policeman money there, man. Policeman money is where you rolled the money up like this in your hand. You don't show the amount, you roll it up like this. And you just hand it to the person. Whatever inside there that is a policeman money. And so we don't have policeman money, so we do what we want to do. And doesn't mean that the police in general will take bribe. But again, if you treat citizens like that, and then you go on the radio and say, if you have to demonstrate, make sure you do it peacefully. what were they doing? They were doing it peacefully, you beat them. And so the next time when they come, they'll be prepared for you. And as soon as they see you, it will be a reaction rather than an interaction. And I think I sent Good them the guy number because I wanted us to ask him if it's okay. You know, and Good
Sure.
said they were trying to contact him. But
Okay.
again, it's unfortunate.
Sure, definitely. Yes. So it's 5:26, and I just want the audience to know that we had a habit of not abiding to time on the show, but I'm very person who believe in time and professionalism and order. So we're gonna, because the guys in the studio have to go home. So we're gonna stop this show at 10 o'clock in Liberia time. In Liberia time, it'll be 10 o'clock, so they can go home.
Dr.
So,
Francine did not go home. That my own brother.
well, I'm not really responsible for
Today
what
is Valentine Day. Oh, no bother. They going home. Even you say know about it.
So if I go that other manga that you trying to get into, you try to get into it. So I'm not going to stay into it. Okay. So I just want to say, Minister Falcon, I gotta respond here from Eugene, Mr. Snow, Minister Senator Snow, and I'm gonna read it as it says. Just so our audience know that he said, as you can see, Eugene and other filed action against Western Cluster. He did send me a court summary here. In the government of Liberia, he says, see upper red circle, which is the court order that went out. In second red circle, the court did not stop Western Cluster. He said the court did not stop Western Cluster. As you said, the court ordered the parties to remain at status quo, remain doing what you're doing, pending the outcome of the conference. So that's why he's telling us here. I'm just giving his side of the story and your side of the story as well. So he said you lied to the Liberian people, Honorable Falcon. We don't have, you can do your research. We'll come back tomorrow and you can speak about it. But if you want to also talk about it briefly, we can do that as well. But it's 5:27. I want us to go on to our closing comments. Saravati laughing at my time schedule, right? It's 5:27. I want us to go on to our parting comments, and lastly, we'll make some announcements. So I will start with you, Salamatu. Just give your parting thoughts.
Okay, well, I mean, on two things. One, regarding police and policing. And I understand, a lot of times they don't have the necessary resources. However, empathy is something that you can't buy. A lot of these police come from the communities and they know. So when you go out there, even though you may not have the necessary resources, empathy you should have towards the people. That's all I will say regarding that. Two, as we go into elections again, I keep saying this generation has to start thinking differently. Regardless, if you know book, you not know book. We're using words like platform. It means the issue. It means that you know about the issue, and the person that come in, they say, these are the issue, and that how we'll fix it. That all it means. We need to go into this election selecting someone who have a platform, who knows about the issues, and who's going to fix the issues. We need to step away when we go to vote. We stop doing tribalism. We need to stop voting based on popularity. We need to stop voting based on hatred, simple hatred of someone, and focus on the issue. It's really that simple. It's not about, oh, you know book, you not know book. You got some people who know book who will kind of will not do it, not help the country. You got some people who don't know book who will kind of not and will do the same thing. We have to go into it knowing that whoever is coming in, they have the passion, they have the vision for Liberia. They've proven themselves somewhere else. If the man say, you know what, if y'all say you want a man to build hospital, and the man he never built hospital before, but he not built 4 houses, yeah, that means he got some kind of experience in building. Let's step away from voting solely based on popularity, solely based on somebody smiling with us, solely based on our tribal affiliation, solely based on what we think we're going to get from that person individually, and start focusing on the issue, the collective issue. Is this person going to come in? Is this person going to truly help fix our health system? Not build one hospital and paint it. All on the platform, you can go build one clinic. Every last one of us, we can go build clinic. Whether we take the money out of our pocket or what we go ask for it, we can build clinic. All of us here now send somebody to school in Liberia. But because we now send somebody to school, that means Alola is supposed to run a country of 5 million high-headed people. Because we Liberian, we're very high. They're not a small group of people you managing. Let's also and also. So I would just say, we will continue to say this. Yes, we want a peaceful election, but we also want voters to be educated enough to go to the polls and stop voting on tribal and popularity. And let me see what I can get out of it individually and not collectively. So I will stop there because I know Dr. Richardson.
Thank you. Leo, your thoughts as you give us your party thoughts?
Yeah, no, just a few things here. I will say, just to respond to something quickly that Salamatu was saying. When it comes to security matters, sometimes it doesn't matter whether the security officers got empathy or not. It comes to orders. What orders have you been given from your bosses? If the order that's giving is to you move in and do X, Y, Z, sometimes it's not as simple to say yes or no because it's an order that comes from your boss. Yes, we've seen cases where people have been brave enough, to do the unthinkable and resist it, but we know what the consequences are sometimes in a country like Liberia if you're going to resist orders from your superior. I think what I would say is to the political class and those that are involved in politics, I think we've gone too far away from the substance of showing the quality of what politics is. I hear people talking, politics are interests. No, politics are not interest. Politics is about governance. That's just that statement alone. Politics are not just about interest. When people say openly like that, politics should be about governance. It should be about good governance. It should be about civil society. It should be about organization. It can't just be politics that about. In Liberia, we have a way of sending messages to our younger ones to believe that that is what it is. And I just also want to admonish all political parties and actors in Liberia that we are arguing about violence all the time and, talking about the violence we're seeing, whether it's from government actors or from other actors, except that in the same breath, we see all our political parties that are having militant youth wing at the same time. You can be arguing about the rising, cases of violence in the country, and then when we got young people dressing in t-shirts and khaki pants, and they're running around the place whole day, and you call them the militant wing of your party. We understood militancy during the days of apartheid. We understood militancy during the day of colonialism. It was absolutely necessary. In 2023, that who the militant are fighting against in Liberia, that each other, the militant and bossing against each other in Liberia, for what reason? We're not fighting colonialism anymore, that each other that we're having conversations with. So you can be wanting to come take over, then you're doing the exact same thing you say you criticize. And for me, I would say this to those in the opposition. Your bickering and the energy you bring to fight each other is really annoying. The thing you're supposed to go fight against, zero energy. But whole day when you turn on UP versus ANC versus Liberty versus this, then when they finish, they say, but second round, we will unite. It's really annoying. And it sounds like it's a bit annoying to see them talking about the other people not smart, they not know what thing they're doing. It looks like the opposition doesn't know what it's doing. Because if you gather so much energy to just be fighting whole day to the point where even people who won't pay attention small, it's just so distracting. You like, let me just walk away from these very people. And for me, to those that are in the CDC, I would say to them every single day, do not come on here insulting everybody that criticizes president. We are president. We are not your president. That everyone of our president, we got a right to talk to him the same way you think you got a right to talk to him. The same blood that runs through your veins, the Liberian blood, it runs through all of us veins. So when we two talking to our president, you sit down small, let's say our own. In every family, all the children they get different opinion. The small brother get an opinion, the big brother get an opinion. The one that was in the good books with the papi and the old man get an opinion. The one that was high here, working, they cause trouble every day they come out. They have the right to be members of that family and to express their opinion. So you sit on one side when we're talking to President We are. He now your president. When you want president, you go vote CDC president. As long as President Weah is the president of the Republic of Liberia, he owe it to us. We have the right to evaluate, to criticize, to praise. President Weah do fun thing. When I like it, we get it ready to say, and I found to us. We can talk it too. When you do something what we think is fun, we get it ready to say fun. We need to agree with you. We don't need your permission to engage President Weah or to talk about President Weah. You're not buying when they were voting for him. Now you won't vote. Or even those who voted against President Weah, he obligated to them too. Even the people who can come on every day, biggest critic, Joseph Boakai, Ellis Cummings, President Weah is obligated to them too because he's the president. So your please go sit down somewhere. When I want people to talk about President Weah, you go on your mattress, say you sleep. When you go CDC headquarters, you do your. By the time you cancel, you're there later, you sleep because we plenty of Liberians also here, all of you combined.
Thank you, Leo. We got a little break in the program. James just alerted me that the man who was beaten today is on the phone. James, could you please just let us express our sorrow and let us hear his story? Please bring him on.
Nelson is getting connected again. His network just disconnected him. As soon as he gets set, I'll let you know again.
Okay.
Please tell him not. He shouldn't wear no red coat.
What do you mean, Falcon?
I know Nelson won't wear a red coat to go to Calabash tonight. And tell him he won't wear no
Oh,
red
you
coat.
tell Valentine.
If I'm not a problem with this,
They're talking different here. All right. Liberians, if you just joining us, we've been having a wonderful conversation here about, we started off the conversation talking about, President Weah's speech, don't mind them. We recognize that he was, selling himself. It was a campaign kind of rhetoric going on, but we're asking for the beef. In America, with this woman, we had this commercial that she took, where's the beef? Where's the meat? Because we eat a lot of burger into this country. And we're asking for what are the substances? How many hospitals? What are the stockpile of medications in the hospital? How many, compared to the country? You send doctors away, but comparatively to the population that we have in our country and hospitals we have, how many doctors are being trained? How many nurses are being trained? The children in the country, do we have a conducive education system, classroom system? Are we still getting the ratio to student teacher? Is it free education? Which Minister Falcon stated here. And a question they asked, is the economy of Liberia helping everybody? The rate of exchange, we see that is increasing on a regular basis. So when we talk about, I built the economy or I improved the economy, is that putting bread and butter on the table of Liberians? And those are the questions that we'd like to have. Leah, I want to disagree with you shortly, and I kind of want to side with Salamatu when she was talking about empathy. And, of course, I come from that school of thought where empathy is something that I speak about and teach about all the time. You can take orders from people and you can carry out the way that you carry out your orders is what I think Salamatu was talking about. You don't have to be disrespectful, but the manner in which you express your empathy as you're carrying out your order. I can go ahead and hijack a person and say, grab you, manhandle you by your legs and your police. Or I can say, sir, I want to talk to you. What you are doing here today could most likely cause my other police people behind me to manhandle you. Please calm down. I know if you're from our community, I want to respect you. You human being at me. I want to have no problem today. So please, I beg you, this protesting you're doing, our government, we allow it sometimes, we don't allow it. So the manner, that's empathy, that's the manner in which you express that. So that's what I think I wanted to kind of side with.
You not be when you in a job as a security officer, where whether that $400, $200 you make, where it's the only income you get to survive on. And you went on an operation and the most superior officer say, you'll clear everybody out. in the heat of the moment. Is it practical to really say one of the officers will go on the side and tell somebody, say, hey, and express empathy like you said? So I'm not saying they should not. I'm just saying the conditions under which our security officers have been put to work, even some of them in their hearts, they can be going on and trying to not want to actually do it. But the question becomes, am I going to do this at the expense of my daily bread being taken out of my mouth without saying no? So they themselves, and then in situations that are tension filled, like we saw the other protests, when you're in the heat of the moment as a security officer and you have a weapon, and and they say you're clear the people, your other officers, and start running, then people to start chunking back, to try and defend themselves or so. In the heat of the moment, it's not easy. It takes an extraordinary human being of a different caliber to display empathy in that moment. So I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying it's extremely difficult to ask our officers under the conditions they are being placed under sometimes to actually do that.
And actually, contextually, when I watched the video, it didn't seem like extreme heat of the moment going on context, like you said. I saw time, I saw there were areas in which people could have our engagement. Okay. So I understand what you're saying, like in warlike situation, which I'm accustomed to. I hear my husband's playing warlike situation. He fought war. He took orders. It's difficult to have a dialogue because you're taking orders. It's life and death situation. But what I just saw in the video, it was not life and death situation. And in those times, I believe empathy could have been employed. So, Mati, you want to have? I heard you saying a few words. Did you want to say something to?
Yeah. And you're right, Leo. However, we watched how the police even came in. They came in as the aggressor. That's how they came in. They came in as the aggressor. What we're saying, I've seen in Liberia where I'm sure they've gotten an order. I've been in a protest where it was a bunch of us women, and we saw the police come with their riot gear to come deal with us. We all know what I want to get a riot gear to come, what they're coming to do. And I also saw how somebody, Senator Sa Joseph, it was him. Come and talk to them, and whoever you got your order from, they didn't look good. Why you coming to the women? And they come down and they left. So I know Liberian people can have empathy when they want to. I know the circumstances that a lot of the police work under is difficult. It's very hard to say no when they're only bread and butter coming in. But what does that even say about our society? That we are so conditioned to take that route. To say, you know what, the man call me, I can place a phone call to the police, to the group of police who are on there, and they can go ahead and do just anything I ask them to do.
Yeah, let me throw the question back to you, Salamantu. On Sunday, we shut down the whole country to go to church. We drive past 13-year-old girls prostituting in the street for food because they can't afford food to eat. We pass in our royal gowns and stuff. We go to church, we praise God and show off by putting more money in the offering plate. We drive back home and pass them on the street, and nobody panics or pauses. So when we're talking about empathy, it's a bigger question. We can't just stick it down to police. It's a cost, and that's what I'm saying. Under the circumstances in Liberia, empathy has almost become a thing that does not exist because of the type of society that we have created.
Yeah. Agree. Yes. Thank you. Minister Fagan, go ahead. Give us your closing thoughts. And as they work on this guide, just know that you'll be interrupted as well when this guy comes in. Give us your closing thoughts.
So why again be your? You started captain again. I'm talking again. Interrupt you.
I can't carry your water, okay?
Salimatu, why am I this friendship between you and I don't know. We're discriminated against on this platform. I don't know.
Why they're discrimination? I
if Kev were here, you would not y'all said nothing. In fact, she would tell the guy Kev is speaking, so you have to wait.
Yes, I'll go straight into my proper English, right? You know the beauty of this show today. I watch as we are going through Liberian English and our proper English speaking. It's just so beautiful as Liberians that we can do that. So yes,
you hear Leo say it's a yoke. And if you follow it with choke, Leo wants to go home next week and be sharp.
I know you going that way. I will leave you. I'm not saying that.
Your practices, so you going with that.
Yeah. This thing is something that It's a yoke, and you follow it, you will choke. So I know where he going. But he will
stop making me laugh like this, man.
He will meet all my beginner on the ground. He will meet them instead of making anywhere to his red coat to go to Calabash.
That may tell you no red coat today.
Now, all my beginner, let them business the shop. They will meet you there. You'll meet them there. Okay, but anyways, back to the business. You know, first of all, let me say we're talking about a multi-billion-dollar company, and we're talking about the wealthiest institution of our nation, the government of Liberia. Maybe Edwin Snow did not hear me, and I want him to listen now that he is listening. When I say we didn't take the government there, per se, we know it was the government and the Western clusters versus us. But the government went before the Senate, and you heard them. They apologized. They said they blundered. So we didn't expect them, Dr. Francine, to kind of show up to fight us. You telling us, oh, we beg y'all, we didn't do it the right way. Then you still want to fight us in court? You're supposed to move from there. Let's face Western cluster. And I want to say to Snow, that was what I meant. Part of the problem when he said you lie is the level of education. When you hear status quo ante, that's the previously existing condition. Status quo means the current condition. And Snow knows fully well, he was sitting in that chamber when they put a whole state order on Western cluster and told them not to operate a single iron ore again. So in that current position, we're justified when the court say, remain in your current position. What is Western cluster current position? The current position, the Senate said they should what? Stop operation until they can figure out what went wrong. That is the current position. And that's why when I started the show, I said, you heard me, Dr. Francine. The Senate told them stop. They continue. The Supreme Court told them to remain. What Jim's waiting for to put a thing up. Both the newspaper and the stuff. Stay. Don't do anything. It's the same, and I don't mean to be denigrating, but it's the same kind of dullness. Because the Senate says stop. The court says remain in your current position, meaning status quo. Status quo ante will remain your previously existing condition. Status quo is your current position. Do I need to come here and take Edwin Snow through school? I don't need to do that. So for him to say, you lie, I will send him to the easiest search engine, Google, status quo ante, status quo. Then go back to your current position and look at the Senate telling you to cease operation. Now, I want to say to Bomi citizens, we are fighting these people in court. We raised the first money. There it is, Justin. There, basic halts Western cluster operations. I don't know why the same snowmen will come here and tell us, say, hey, you know what? There is no such thing. Get a court paper right there. I sent them to James. If you look at the bottom, you will see a status quo, meaning your current position. He came here, he said there is no way an MOU can supersede an MDA. We put that one up. He said, oh, I went there just to negotiate. I spent 12 hours. In fact, he came back. He said, you know what? The MOU expired after 6 months. We asked him to show her the place. But the MOU said negotiations will resume, RESUME, after 6 months. It didn't say the MOU will cease to exist. So this man just keep lying, and he thinks everyone will lie. That's why we'll continue to put up the facts. It's on your paper, go read it, define it, and know what it means. Now, I'm saying to Bomi citizens, I'll be reaching out to them tomorrow. I'm putting up the first $100 for us to be able to fight this battle. We are poor. We are going against a rich government with the president being the best friend to Edwin Snow. We're going against a multi-billion-dollar company. We managed to file our case. We took the first 1,000 and change, pay our lawyers. We need to pay them again. And Snow is laughing at us. He's telling us that we're too poor to even go to the steps of the Supreme Court. I have a message for him. It's under his friends, George Weah administration, that we are poor. But wait, 2024, we'll know who's rich and who's poor. We will prove that all power is inherent in the people. And we will prove it, because these are some of the things, Dr. Francine and the rest of the panelists, these are the things that hurt us deep. When because your friend is a president, you can take advantage of us. That the Senate will tell you to stop, you will not stop. The court will tell you remain at that position, you still will not stop. And tonight, I think Snow is crossing the line. And I want to make it clear, everyone is praising us for using the legal system. But no one is coming to our rescue as we cry out. Stop them from taking our iron ore. Stop them from ignoring the Senate. Stop them from ignoring the court. But wait until the day and the Gola people show them. And I'm afraid to say, don't take offense, but some of you will sit there and say, there's no room for violence. It will not be violence. It will be protecting our own. Because our government has failed us. The court has tried. And the friend of the president is robbing us in broad daylight. We will continue to remain peaceful. We'll continue to remain law-abiding. We'll wait for the decision of the court because it is the highest decision-making body. But I want Edwin Snow, a Basso man from Grand Basso, to know that making him senator did not in any way rob us of our ability to think and act.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm sure we'll continue to have a conversation about the Western Cluster. There will be more clarification as we have dialogues about Liberia. My final thoughts here to all of you who are listening and those of you who can have family meetings and discuss with your family, your agenda should be to vote for Liberia. You know, there have been many things said about the opposition. Some people are saying, oh, the opposition are disunited, they are not together. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's not going to be the name of oppositions that don't have bread and butter on the table. It's not, opposition is not going to go to the hospital when they are ill to get medication. Opposition will not be sending their children. There's nobody in John Brown opposition that will be going to school in Liberia. At the end of the day, it is us Liberians, okay, that want a better country. We want to be able to move our country forward in the region so that it can look at least close to places that are like Ghana and Sierra Leone. We are way behind. I want Liberians people, if you honor the tone of my voice, know that we are way behind. If you think I'm lying, just Google. So we need a president who we're not going to do that will promise us at least to put us on the trajectory, on the right path, okay, where our country can go to some of the things that Leo been saying, some of these ideals of, you know, training for security people, you know, a better country, Liberia, and act where there will be Liberia in different regions of the country. Those are all those are things that happen in modern countries, but in Liberia, it seems like ideals, not realistic. That's what I mean. Okay. You know, what we can say, Salamatu can say, we don't want a president can say, oh, I hire women in my government. Don't mind them. No, we want a president that will say, I hire Salamatu in Liberia, and she's bringing conference to Liberia, and she trained 18 out of 20 women who will begin small businesses. Those are substantial conversations. That's the kind of thing that we want to hear, and that's the kind of way that we pray that Liberians should be thinking for a better and more deserving Liberia. We deserve it all. We've been through too much. We've been through civil war. We've been through cussing each other. We deserve to at least have some kind of system in our country that we can rely on, we can depend on. Having said that, we have about 5 more minutes. I'd like to ask if anyone have any announcements. I want to.
What happened to that secret video here? You just hiding it.
And I don't have that video. Nobody give it to me.
Oh, James.
And also before Minister Falcon, I want to say to the men who, I believe the aspirant who was calling in, we are very sorry, okay, for your situation. We pray that you receive the help the medical help, the medical attention that you need, and hopefully you will gather the strength to come back on the show to tell the Liberian people your story. But at this point, we stand in sorrow with you, from all of the panelists. I'm not sure what you're saying, what video you're talking about. The guy didn't come back. James not playing the video. Maybe this will be for another show. But I want to make an announcement. I want to say happy birthday to you, Cindy Way Martin. Today is her birthday. I want to say happy birthday to May Yuri. I want to say happy birthday to my family woman, Emma Williams. I also want to say happy birthday to Kamara Little. That's a whole lot of people who I saw that have birthdays today. Do you guys have any announcements? We have about 4 more minutes before we go.
No, Sister Tomali.
No, Tony will do death announcement. I said nobody.
No.
I want to be talking about birthdays. Okay, brother Fagon.
I just on behalf of the entire network family, wish all Liberians and all of our listeners in and around the world globally happy Valentine's Day. And that shows that we love you all, even though I love Salimatu the best.
Yeah.
And you know, I just want to tell everybody that we make the sacrifices coming out here to have this discussion, just to have you all enlightened and informed. And to say that this platform will remain because it is the biggest platform. It is a platform or the medium through which many of our people can get the actual and real stories. I really want to say this from the depth of my heart because there were too many people that came out. Oh, what are you doing on our show? You should have left. You got integrity. What good is my integrity if I cannot serve my people? Amen. This platform was built by a man who thought that Liberians needed this. And Liberians embraced it that up to this point in time, they still tune in. It has about 3 radio stations, 2 television stations, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and everything. It is the wider reach and the widest network. And you say we shouldn't come here, seditions, oppositions, Christians, Muslims, women, men, whatever, to share these ideas and debate the issues because something had happened in his personal life. I thought someone was presumed innocent until proven guilty. I thought this platform was built for us. The American people did not seize it. They did not take control of it. They left it because they know we need it. And we will be here to erect the necessary checkpoints and to share ideas, the young, the old, female, male, young, intelligent guys like Leo, who struggling with Liberian English, but giving it to you, it tells you that he's still.
So look at it, man. Picking at me that saying real man.
And Nelson will wear his rare coat to go to Big Calabash, and Good Day will feel bad because he's not in Liberia. But this is all the things that make us happy, one big family. So Spoon Network is here to stay. We are here and we ain't going nowhere. You can put your money on that. Unless the American government says shut it down, even the CEO cannot shut it down. If he try, he will meet the full force of the Liberian brute.
On that note, happy Valentine's Day.
Announcement.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, quickly.
Hey, he come and say, "Go Liberia."
I like you go Liberia. Don't you bring that to me, man.
Happy. If the young were happy.
Yeah, I
say him myself, I'm going there tonight.
If a yoke, it choke.
I have an announcement to make.
Go ahead. Don't mind them. Go ahead.
Exactly, and I'm minding them. On February 26th, we'll be doing an open community engagement at the construction site. We'll be having music and food, and some of the high schools in the area will be doing some debates right on the construction site because we want to ensure that the community feels ownership of the project itself on the Painesville City Hall compound. On Sunday evening on the 26th, between 3 p.m. and 6 p.m., there will be food and music. Some of our international guests from Canada and the U.S., some of our supporters will also be on the ground. And it's open. all community members are invited. You don't need to have any special invitation. It's free for the community, because most times when we go to Liberia, we engage people who are donating, we engage partners. But I think another important piece of something like that is the actual community. The people who live in those communities, walk around there, should know that this is a facility that will be for them. And it's just important for them to see it as it's going up, engage it, so that when they pass by it, when somebody take one ride and one chunky, they can know why it's going up there for. And not any kind of big.
So boys are bring a chunk.
Yeah, one chunk the team with.
The main practicing.
Yes. That's a great announcement, Leo. Thank you so much. And I hope that you'll be able to do videotapes that we'll be able to share here on the platform.
I'll engage the team on the ground as well when I'm there.
And I hope that you continue to join us, even if you have the time while you're in Liberia. I want to thank you, Salimatu, for joining us today. It's always wonderful having you and having your thoughts. Yes. Leo, also thank you. And Minister Falcon, thank you very much. I know that you love Salimatu best by this. Yes. Okay. So
I can joke because she's like a yoke.
No, I see you later. Don't mind them. I'll see you later, Papa.
Don't mind them.
Don't mind them.
Okay, folks. We hope to join you again tomorrow, at which time the team will be here to bring you another edition. Until we meet, my name is James Goodell Flomo. Bye-bye.